Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Real Way. This is real stories of real people in a real community trying to serve Christ in a real way. My name is Brandon Morrell. I'm the Director of Youth Evangelization and Digital Ministry here at St. Thomas Aquinas and Our Lady Help of Christians. So today on The Real Way, we got Christian. What's up, Christian?
How you doing, man?
How you doing today?
Chilling. Great day to be alive.
Right. So if you guys have seen, you've been around, I'm sure you've seen Christian, handling pretty much everything in some way, shape, or form. And probably by the time this comes out, you know, you're still a part of our community, but you'll be away for a little bit. I don't know. Just tell us about yourself. Tell you about your connection to the parish, what you do, how you got connected. I mean, just we'll keep going.
So we'll start from the present and then work our way back.
Yep.
So right now, I'm still technically a sacristan of St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm currently an ambassador alumni. Also part of the religious ed program, but obviously not anymore. I'm going away to college. And just a regular parishioner of STA. Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha. And so walk us through the journey for the years. Because we were even talking about this yesterday, like how long you've been altar serving and all of that. Yeah. Walk us through all of that.
All right. So really, I could say it started with religious education for me. So the whole way through, it was kind of just like my mom wanted me to just build my faith in the church. And obviously just going to church wasn't enough because she herself was always very involved. She was always in other church programs, even if it wasn't St. Thomas. So she wanted me to get that. She wanted me to get communion, baptized, all that stuff. So for me personally, it started with religious education. So religious education was kind of like the gateway to everything.
Right.
So the first few years was just regular stuff, getting communion. The way, like, it's kind of like a tunnel, actually. Because the way you start is you just do religious ed, but then they encourage you before you get communion to join something else in the church. Like you could be an usher, an altar server, whatever you want to do. I honestly thought at first everyone was trying to finesse it. So everyone wanted to be a usher. That was the method back in the day. Because honestly, there was so many of us that it's just easy rotation. You'd like have to do it maybe once a month and it'd be easy. But obviously TJ and Joe caught on. So they actually care about and Mr. Jean, they care about which ushers, actually show up. They're not just going to take any kids because they know, oh, you're just trying to be getting communion. So I ended up becoming an altar server, which was actually very fun. So then that was a whole nother pipeline to something else. So altar serving, it was fun while it lasted. The saying goes, once you're an altar server, you never really quit or graduate from it. You're always an altar server, no matter what scene you're in. You could always altar serve. It's kind of common sense the first time you do it to the last. So altar serving was always very fun, and that got me involved in other things because we used to do a lot of stuff with the altar servers. So we'd go to Donny Park. We'd have our own meetings, and after we have our meetings, we'd like just hang out together. That also get us introduced to like youth group. At some point, once you reach a certain age, like they kind of suggest the ambassador program. Basically, in like big events like the lock-ins and Donny Park, you see kids from other programs, right? So you'd find ambassadors there. You'd find kids in STA sports. You'd find kids from the religious ed program, obviously, and stuff like that. So then you're like, oh, they get to come here too. I wonder what you do. So then you're just talking to somebody your age who's coming here for free just like you. And you're like, I didn't even know I could do that here. So that's kind of how you get involved into everything.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So that you took us through a lot there. But I'm going to back up for a minute because I think one of the unique things about this, I remember the first time I came in, this is like my first Sunday here, right? And I walked in and I see a bunch of young men as ushers.
Yeah.
That's not normal. Like, especially when you travel around a bunch of parishes, a bunch of places. So I think that's a thing. But then what you also said was the encouragement from before you even receive First Communion that you're going to get involved in something else.
A very big thing that I've noticed about the church, because I did research on it for a paper in school, it's church retention, right? So retention doesn't really come from the older people. It comes from the young kids. Because the young kids, they're not the future, they're the now. And Father Dwayne has been very intentional about this, and he was able to realize this from very early on. The more involved a kid is at church, the more likely they are to stay and build their own connection with God. Because it's not like, oh, my mom is telling me to go, so I'm gonna go. And then at some point, you do kind of get a say. And if it's just, oh, I've been going because mom told me, at some point that's not gonna become a strong enough reason for you to go.
Right.
Because you never formed that own bond with church. It was never like your own thing. But
Right.
if I could get you involved from a young age, it started with altar serving. Now, okay, you moved on to being an usher, or you're an ambassador, or you're doing this, you're doing that. Now it's kind of like, I already do something for myself. So it's like, I'm going to go because I already have something there. And you
Right.
have a sense of belonging because you have a sense of purpose there. That's basically what it is.
Right. So I mean, there's this thing: head, heart, hands. So like, there's the head knowledge about God. There's that heart, those heartfelt experience, and then there's those hands-on, like
Exactly.
you're being the hands and feet of Christ, right, and so
Exactly.
forth. But what do you say for you has been, as you've grown and been a part of all these different things, being hands-on in this community? Like, how's that? What has that done for Christian, the person?
I think it's helped me in many ways, but I think the most important part is my own character and morals. Because being in a bunch of different spaces, you meet a bunch of different people, but the common factor is that these are people of service. Like, they're trying to serve a greater purpose. They're trying to help people, and no matter what you're trying to do, whether it's like youth group and the youth ministry you're doing, or if you're an usher and just like greeting people with a smile, welcoming them into the church, everyone has like that personality or like that character to be welcoming and be a good person. So I think for me, it's helped me strengthen my morals, but also like find God. Because in seeing people who have a strong calling of service, I too want to like serve the people, and that helps me like build a relationship with God.
No, I feel that. And so, okay, so all right, and I think we can probably backtrack individually, right? So let's go down the list. Let's go back to altar serving for a minute, right? You said you have fun, right? What specifically do you think is special about the altar servers that have been here, your connection to it,
I'll
etc.?
tell you. Okay, so for a kid, I'd say it's a lot easier for a kid to pay attention to mass when you're an altar server than when you're like sitting there in the stands. That's what it was for me, actually.
I believe
'Cause
that.
as a kid, I was the one falling asleep, and I'd had to like fight for my life to stay up because I couldn't. The words wasn't quite sticking to me. So at least when I'm an altar server now, my mindset flipped because now it's like I'm watching for certain things. I'm like, okay, now I gotta go get the water. I gotta set up for communion. I gotta hold the Bible. Or when do we walk out? Or I had to go to the back for the gifts. So when you're an altar server as a kid, like there's a little bit of pressure, but it's not like the people put the pressure. It's kind of on you because you're like sitting there and you know people see you. So there's a little bit of pressure of like, okay, I need to actually pay attention now, and I have a reason to pay attention.
Right.
And it slowly warps into something more positive as you get older or the longer you do it. But it's easier for a kid to focus in mass, and then since you're already focused in mass, you know you can't fall asleep. Now you're actually listening to the word. Like that sounds bad, but that's the truth. Now you're actually, okay, that was the first reading. That was the second reading. Okay, I'm hearing the gospel, the homily. Okay, I'm hearing you. Okay, and now I know I got to do this, this, and that. So for me, it was just now church wasn't just, or mass wasn't just, all right, 40-minute nap session. It was like I actually had to pay attention and be attentive. So I think the biggest thing for altar servers is it helps you be more attentive in mass.
No, that makes sense because you become an active participant, not a
Exactly.
passive listener.
Exactly.
You know? Okay, so now let's go through. You've ushered a little bit, right? Especially with being like a sacristan
By
and so
default,
forth, right?
yeah.
Right. Let's talk about the bridge between being sacristan, usher, like that, all of that.
Okay, I'll start with the ushers because that's a lot more simple. As a youth usher, it's not really that hard. It's just really the most important part is just to be presentable, honestly. Like having that jacket on, you're representing the church, and the senior ushers will let you know that. So the most important part is just showing that you got manners, right? Greeting people with a smile, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the time of day is, opening the door for them, guiding them. That's really the main part. There's like other stuff you do too, like during the collection and stuff, but that's the main thing. And I think just having that and being around the older guys, that just helps build character for the kids. It's like a give and take situation with the ushers.
Yeah. No, I feel that. And then like being sacristan. So let's talk about that because I know that there's a lot of parts to that.
That's like,
yeah.
I think that's been how I've been most involved with St. Thomas, because being a sacristan, then I just look at everything else I'm doing. It's by default to me now because it's like, okay, I'm already a sacristan here. It's not a lot, but it is. And at the same time, like it's little tasks. It's just maintenance, really. Like selling candles. The most important part is just again being presentable. It's kind of like the same. It's the same like core skill as being an usher or altar server, which is just how presentable are you? Are
Right.
you able to greet somebody with a smile and be like mature about it? And that's really the main thing, because everything else somebody is there to teach you. Joseph was able to teach me. I was able to teach Munoz. Anthony is going to be able to teach whoever comes along. It's really not like you don't have to go to college to be a sacristan. Clearly, it's a high school job, so it's not hard to get the basics down. But the most important part is like you as a person. Am I comfortable with you greeting my parishioners? Will you be? Do you give off that welcoming, hello, how are you doing, kind of vibe? That's been like the main thing. And I think because I've been at St. Thomas for so long, because that's just been the home parish for me. For the most part, a lot of people already know me, so it's already like that family.
Right.
So when I stepped into the job, I didn't feel like, oh, I gotta get to know you. I already knew you before. Now it's just I happen to work here, but it didn't feel like I work here.
Yeah.
I just have responsibilities now.
Right. No, it's like a natural progression of things.
Literally, it just felt like such a natural transition. Like, yeah, I used to go here, and I've already been a part of here, but now it's just like, yeah, now I am responsible for closing the church. But it's like I already know you. Like, I like it's a bunch of people I see on a regular basis, and they already know me. So it's like, okay, I know this person usually leaves late. It makes it a lot easier. It's an easy job because of the people.
Well, you're saying something there too. I think to be known, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a man. Like let's. I don't want to say put faith aside, but like just on a natural level, people want to be known, and I think it's powerful to be a part of a community where you feel seen and known as a whole.
For sure.
Yeah.
That honestly was the biggest thing for me, because it felt like such a seamless transition, because I got trained my junior year, but I was working for my senior year, but it didn't feel like a new job to me because everything was already familiar. I was already
Right.
here. It's like I walked into my own house. Literally, it felt like I was just walking into my old house, because I already knew all of these people beforehand as just being a normal parishioner.
So I don't know if you even catch that. Like if you put like that's like a bar, right? It's like being at your parish should be like walking into your own house.
Literally, that's what it felt like. It was just to me, it didn't feel any different. Obviously, now I'm at church more often than I normally would be, but it didn't feel any different. It's like I've been going here for 10 years, so nothing really changed.
So now talk to me about being an ambassador, right? Because an ambassador, it's run here, right? But it's connected to the larger thing of the diocese. And so, yeah, what has that
That's
done?
been its own unique experience, and I'm honestly, the only regret I have is not joining sooner, honestly. But you know, everything happens for a reason. I didn't join my underclassmen years. I joined as an upperclassman my junior year. Honestly, I'm very happy it's not a St. Thomas thing, actually, because it allows you to branch out and like talk to different people. It's not just like, because you already see enough of St. Thomas, so you're able to branch out, but also bring in other people and get that connectedness of where it's a Catholic thing. Like, you don't have to be Catholic, obviously, but it's a Catholic thing. It's like there's churches outside of just St. Thomas.
Right.
Church is church no matter where it is. It's not just because, oh, I like Brandon is here, that's why I'm going to go to St. Thomas, I'm going to follow God. No, it's like you see a common personality between Catholics. For the ambassador specifically,
The universality of the church, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's one of the biggest things we saw when we did go on our mission trip to Africa. Like, even though some kids didn't speak the language, I understood it for the most part because I understand French, but it was literally the exact same as Mass here, the exact same, and that's a whole different continent. So that just shows you how universal it really is.
Yeah.
Speaking on the ambassadors specifically, the main two things is being a leader, but finding what type of leadership fits you, because not everybody's a leader in the same way, right? And that's fine. That's normal. That's how it should be. You shouldn't have carbon copy leaders. Everyone fills out a different role, but also how you're able to collaborate, because the whole point is to be a community, and sometimes it's hard being a leader in a group of leaders, because it's like, if everyone's a leader, are you really a leader? So sometimes it's just trying to find that balance of when do I lead and when do I take that back step and say, hey, it's his time to shine. Let me just be a team player.
Yeah, it's like Best way I like thinking of it is like either like the Avengers or the Justice League or the
Literally.
X-Men.
It's like managing USA basketball.
Right, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Like one day you're gonna have LeBron, the other day it's gonna be Curry. And not everybody could be that star person every day, but just building the fact that you're like one big community. It's not any type of animosity. It's not like a hostile environment. It's just everyone's trying to get better and mature. So that's been a great experience.
So, okay. So what do you say for you, if you could share something from any of your experiences connected here in the church that you feel like has helped your walk with Christ specifically?
One.
I mean, it could be multiple, but I mean, when it comes to the forefront of your mind.
For me personally, I've had a full circle moment after coming back from Africa. But it started at school, completely unrelated. At the start of my junior year, I had a research paper to do, and it was on like the retention rate of churches. And I thought to myself, I'm like, wait, I go to church. This should be very easy for me. And that's what I was saying about how like it's getting kids involved. That's how you keep the retention rate. And I've been able to see that like to the fullest extent this year, because now I'm one of the older guys. I'm not the kid. I'm like the mentor now for the younger guys, and I'm seeing it because like now the plan that Father Dan was trying to have is in full swing, and I'm seeing the younger guys get involved. I'm seeing the siblings and stuff, like they're showing up to mass now. They're altar serving. They're trying to be ushers. They're trying to get involved with the youth ministry, helping you out with youth groups. So I'm seeing it in full swing, and I'm like, he really did something with that. Yeah. It's like a full circle moment, but it's only been like 2
So
years.
you would say like it's kind of eye-opening to see like how your life. So okay, it's different to see the data on
Exactly.
paper
And
and then notice what's happened in your own life, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's, in a sense, that's kind of the concept we think about with even this podcast and this whole thing, right? Is like sometimes we have what's on paper, you know, in the catechism or in scripture, or what's in the Pope wrote this thing or some saint wrote this. And then it's different to see it played out in the lives of people.
And then like it really clicked to me. I was like, oh, I really cooked with that, and it was the truth. Like that happened in real life, and it's just crazy to see how like you could think something's right, but to see it actually be correct and happen in real time.
Yeah,
is
it's not just a
thing.
theory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Christian, any last words you feel like some people should know about the parish or about the community, or just something like a little gem you feel like you need to drop for people?
Service. All service is good service. That's been the thing that stuck with me after this mission trip. I feel like I was able to bond with a lot of people who I like to have conversation, but I don't speak to everyone because I know not everyone is a conversational person. But you're always able to bond through somebody through service. If we both go to work and like we had a long day of work and we could relate to that, that's gonna build a bond right there, and that's something that could stay forever. So I'd say all service is good service, and service with people is the best service.
Oh, that's real.
True words.
Yeah. I mean, serving one another, that's the act of love, and even one of the love languages in a sense, right, of people. So
The bishop had a quote. Let's see if I can remember it. The Archbishop of Ghana, Anthony, I can't say the rest of his name, and I'm not gonna say it on camera.
okay.
He said the purpose of life is to give, and I could kind of see it because it's been a lot of people. I don't think I've found that just yet, but I could see a lot of people around me who genuinely take joy in helping others, and that motivates me to, even if I don't want to, still like try my best to help out the next person. So, yeah, man, service.
Most definitely. All right, well, thank y'all. This is The Real Way, real stories, real people, real community. I'm trying to serve Christ in a real way. And we pray that this inspires you. Either you can come join us, connect with us here at St. Thomas, Our Lady Help of Christians, or if you are not somebody close by, like, I hope this inspires you to get involved in your own community in some way, shape, or form in a real way. Thank you, guys. God bless. Peace.